Hi, welcome. We're going to talk about the part two of Shanks Starter Deck 23. So a lot of people have asked me about, okay, I'm going to be addressing with this, most of these decks. What happens if you only buy one, right, starter deck, and you want to move this to a more upgraded version? What happens then? Keep in mind, look at my previous video. A lot of that stuff still applies here. And the final adjustments, the deck list is at the end. I will showcase it, and that takes into account the previous video. So if you're interested in this, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe. The next round I'll take into account both versions, right? If you buy two and you buy one. So this is Shanks. Let's dive right in. So first things you want to do is since you didn't buy two, you won't have two copies of the new Shanks. So what you can do instead is go ahead and buy two copies of 10 drop Shanks. The ET, when it enters, you can KO one opponent's character with 1,000 power or less. Pretty solid ability, especially in this deck. It did show up as a 1 or 2 up in previous Shanks list, so I think this is actually a pretty decent swap. You could also just buy two more copies of that Shanks, but I think this Shanks is actually better. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. So next, we have Uda, right? So you didn't buy the 4 copies of Uda. Uda is a little bit cheaper, but I don't think it's as good as 2020 Chopper. It's about $1.50 a piece. You're going to be happy with that. Some versions of Shanks play 4 copies of this because it's very low to the ground. It's a 2K counter, and in a way, it's kind of just strictly better Uda. So I recommend picking up 2 copies of this for $1.50 a piece, and it's still within your budget constraints of under what it would cost to buy another copy of a Shanks starter deck. So with that account, this is what the deck looks like at the very end. Of course, we have two Udas, we have 2 Shanks, 2 new Shanks. We have our 4 10 drop Shanks, and then we have pretty much this is what it will look like as a finalized product of spending $5 instead of spending $12 or $15 for a second copy of the starter deck. Because like I said, I took account what cards you only get 2 of, right? And for the most part, you still get to keep all of the good cards from the starter decks here, and we still get to basically have a strictly better version of the deck. So, and I guess in some ways, I would recommend not picking up the second edition of the starter deck. Um, Overall, you have $5. You could even invest more into the deck if you wanted some copies of Markup instead of some Usopp, or invest in some more copies of Tony Chopper. So there's definitely some room here that you can invest that additional $7, or you could just account for it. Hey, that's $5. The starter deck comes with a booster pack. I buy a booster pack. Then it's kind of like a strictly better version of the deck itself. So this is my finalized adjustments. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about this content. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with many of the other versions of the other starter decks just in a moment.